Good night, everybody. This is Chris Marshall, and it's shop night, and you know what that means. I'm joined by my co-host, the 2023 FRRC Super Late Model Rookie of the Year, your friend and mine, the big LG, Lou Goss. Lou, how you doing, man?
I'm great, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, Lou. Before we go any further, I'm going to let everybody know that this episode is brought to you in part by Symes Realty.
Yeah, Symes is great, and I just want to let everyone know that they're going to be at the track with us this Thursday for week 2 of FRRC Thursday Night Thunder. They're a great realty company, and they want everyone to know that, you know, even though it may seem like things are moving a little slow at times, it's always a great time to buy or sell. Bill Symes, the Symes family, all the respected realtors there, Mike Hubbard, Jeff DeGale, great people to work with. So shout out to them and thanks for helping us out.
Yeah, well, Lou, awesome. You know, really great. I like how you put it. But we got a lot to go over.
Yeah.
We had a race.
We did.
We had a race, and let's go back. Let's recap this a little bit for, you know, some of the people who were not there. Just going through everything. How did you feel after everything was done? You know, going through that qualifying or practice qualifying. How did everything feel going through practice and qualifying and setting up everything for the heat race and the feature?
Yeah, it was great. You know, we started out, put our practice tires on, and the car was great in practice. Probably the best it has been. And I was super excited, but also knowing that when we go to put on 4 new tires, you know, for us, that's a little bit of a struggle, right? The car acts a lot different when we put on our new tires. We got to keep focusing on our tire game, right? And sure enough, we put our new tires on. The car was not as good as it was. So it took us a little bit. We tried some things, tried a few adjustments. And actually, in the middle of the feature, we even brought the car in during one of the cautions and tried to open up the stagger, and the car was a lot better. So I think that really kind of guided us towards some of the changes we're going to make this week. We're actually going to put all the chassis changes back the way we had it, right? We put a little extra sway bar in it, and we had raised the panhard bar. So we're going to reset those changes and just make sure to really focus on our stagger for this week. I think that'll really help.
Now, one of the things I do want to mention, now the weather was different for when we practiced. And then when we came out for the race, it was a little bit colder. So I just want to know, did that play a factor in the maybe game planning and adjusting on the car?
I don't know if on the new tires, not so much, because I think we just needed to focus on some different things there. But definitely when we went out there on our tires that we had practice on for the tech day, which was at least 15 degrees warmer for that tech day, that might have made a big difference, right? That feeling, because when we were there for tech day on those same tires, the car really wasn't very good. Yeah. And then we go out there for practice and it's 15 degrees cooler. All of a sudden the car's like really good. So that might have been it. As far as on the new tires, I think that was just us, you know, kind of missing the mark on our stagger setup. So we hope, right? So that's going to be our game plan for this week.
Right. And now here's the thing. We go into week 2, you know, coming off of a 12th place finish, which I think is really good, especially from where we were last year. So we're already seeing the improvement. So going into week 2, this Thursday, you know, what's the plan this Thursday? How are you feeling? Are you rest up? Are you a little antsy, just waiting to get back at it? Or, you know, how is that going? Like, how is the mindset going into week 2?
I'm excited. I'm relaxed. We're very prepared. The car is done. It's ready to go. We had shop night, right, per usual on Monday nights. And really minimal things to do, you know, no damage to speak of, which is great. So we cleaned the car up, did our nut and bolt check, reset those chassis changes. We're going through our tire notes. There's a tire sheet that we have to turn in. In fact, maybe I'll just go ahead and grab it. We got to turn this tire sheet in every week that notes the tires we're going to race on and a couple of approved spares. That's just a little insight on some of the background things we got to do. It's not just all about jumping in the car and putting fuel in it, right? There's paperwork every week and lots of tire tracking, tons and tons of tire notes.
And some people are going to ask, why is that important? Like, why do you have to do that? Can't you just go up to them and just say, hey, this is what we have here.
Sure.
This is the barcode that's on them, you know, and just be done with it.
Right.
Can we get in trouble for not turning that in, or is there something that happens, like would we end up losing a position and forfeiting points or getting fines, or what happens with that if I just say, you know what, we've had a rough day in practice and qualifying, you don't get this, and I just forget to turn it into them.
Yeah. I think it says on there. I don't know, if you don't turn it at all, they might not even let you race. But if you turn it in late, you start at the back of the slow heat, and then you gotta keep transferring into the different races.
Qualifying points and money will be forfeited.
Right. And so most of this is based around, Kaukauna has a 2 new tire rule each week. So this kind of keeps things tracked where, each week when we're done, we got to turn in 2 hot tires into the impound shed, right? Those get used for the next week, and then we have to declare our 2 new tires, whether they're stickers or whatever, wherever they came from. They don't necessarily have to be stickers. But then we have to declare everything on this sheet, and those are the only 6 tires we can use throughout the night. So that's just a way so everyone, teams aren't buying 8 new tires every week, right? That would get kind of ridiculous.
And it does help keep the cost up.
Yes.
It does help keep the cost down, because I know with you guys, or with the team, it's always, hey, look, how can we keep the cost down? So I like that relegates that to keep that cost down. But Lou, there was a race this weekend.
Yeah.
There was a race at Jefferson. Some people went down to Jefferson, they said a race broke out. And, we made picks. And, I made some picks, you made some picks. Luckily for me, my pick did not go to that race. He ran the race the next day. But it was a very eventful race, and it's one of my favorite ones. This year I had some other things come up, so I didn't make it out there. But, they do the salute to the troops where, the veterans and, past and, former current military get to go down and, meet the drivers and shake their hands, which I think is the coolest thing that they do there. But we had a race there. We also had an incident where some of the safety workers, there was an incident where I believe some track workers got hurt.
Yep.
So I do want to, just from the podcast, just from the LGR race team, we do want to extend our prayers out to the workers that were injured or hurt. And we do hope for a speedy recovery.
Yeah, that's always tough to see. I've been involved in a couple races where, track officials got hurt or worse, right? And it's terrible to see. So hate it. It's not just the drivers and teams that are in, can be in peril. It's the officials too. They're the ones out on the track. Mm-hmm. The rest of us are buckled in with our safety equipment. So sometimes they're even in a little bit more danger than we are, all things considered. So yeah, our thoughts and prayers go out to them.
Now, our picks didn't go the way I thought it would go.
Yeah.
But we have, some other upcoming races that we'll be able to make some picks for, which I'll have to look at the schedule for those, and we'll have to figure that out. But, there's a high limit race that's coming out, so why don't we just make picks for that?
Sure.
I'll take Brad Sweet for the race at 141.
Okay.
And, you can take whoever.
Gonna take Sheldon Honshield? Is he even in that?
No.
Oh.
So the high limit guys that they have is Brett Marks, Rico Abreu.
Okay. I'll take Rico.
Okay. All right. So we'll do that. And maybe you might see us out there.
Yeah.
So now, with everything set for next week or set for this week for racing, did you have anything that you wanted to maybe leave out on for the people, or?
No. That was it. Just another great show, another great week of work, right?
That's right.
We'll get this episode out a little bit quicker than the other one, but that one's on me. But we're ready to go. Can't wait.
I'm excited. And also, I wanted to tell you something. So when I was at the, up there, spotting and stuff like that, so somebody came up to me and they were talking, they said, hey, there's a lot of stuff that you can do on the racetrack that you can't do in your car, when you're out on the road. And one of the things, we were tossing things back, you want to know something that you cannot do in your car that you can do in race car?
What's that?
You can't warm your tires up. So I can't peel out of here and drive like this to warm my tires up.
Sure.
Because that's something I can't tell the officer. He goes, hey, why were you sticking back and forth? I said, I was warming up my tires to get all the trash and stuff off of them.
That's right.
He's not going to believe it.
No, he won't like that probably.
But but we're going to leave you guys. So I do want to thank you guys for tuning in. It's shop night, and you know what that means. I'm Chris Marshall. He's Lou Goss. We'll see you guys next time.
Nice.
Yes.